Now we burn incense in regard to the precepts, meditation, and emancipation. May the light and fragrant cloud of this incense pervade the Dharma world. We offer this incense to the countless Buddhas of the worlds of the 10 directions. May we be able to see, hear, and partake of the fragrance of the world of the tranquil extinction. 도조개. Ambora. Good morning to everyone. Thank you all again for coming today on Christian Christmas Eve. This is kind of, in the Western world, this is kind of everybody's holiday tradition. You know, it doesn't really matter whether you're an atheist or a Christian or a Jew or a pagan or whatever. It seems like that we all kind of really value this time period. And one of the things that I like to focus on is this concept of darkness, light. And so on December the 21st, we have the solstice, the shortest day of the year. And what's interesting is the reason that we share this tradition from paganism all the way through Christianity and such is that there's an interesting thing that happens. The sun dips below the equator and the pole star disappears on December the 21st. But it's gone from December 21st until December the 25th, and then it peaks out again, evening. And what that is symbolic of in planting circles and in pagan circles and in nature circles is that now the days are getting longer. That now things renew again. We know that it's going to get warm again, and there's not going to be all the snow, and we're going to be able to have crops again next year. And so this is a time of celebration. And so the 21st, in the pagan tradition, is such to celebrate that idea that this is the darkest moment. And one of the things that in my household that we did this year to kind of recognize that our connection to the process of the cosmos and the universe, and not separating ourselves and feeling that we're different. We turned off all electrical devices and all all lights and did our evening meditation in total darkness, or as total as you can get in the city. You know? To remind ourselves not to push away things, not to be afraid of things. And we have all of these things that we have developed to keep us from being in the dark. We have created more and more advanced methods to push away darkness, whether it was the advent of fire, whether it was found fire that we kept going, or the ability to then make fire on demand, to easier and easier ways to make fire on demand, and then to use that fire, and then finally to electricity and things like that to help again stave off the darkness, which in the end is sometimes staving off our connection to things as they are, Jesus' soul, ultimate reality as it is. We all have that innate fear of walking in our basement when there's no light. The hairs on the back of your neck rise and we get nervous. And I find that this is an interesting thing that everyone shares. But if we embrace the fact that it's just darkness, and that if there was no darkness, there could be no light. And so the interesting thing is that the darkness seems so scary until you give it just even the faintest light, even the smallest glimmer of a candle is enough to give you the safety and hope that everything's going to be okay. Nothing's out there that's going to get you. So this is very similar to where we come to this practice, Dharma. Right? We come from a place of darkness. Not that there's anything to be afraid of in that darkness. The darkness is just darkness. But we inherently fear it because we don't know. We don't know what's next. We don't know if we're going to bump into something. We don't know if something will grab us. We don't know if what we're searching for is just within our reach or just out of our reach, or if it's so far away that we can't find it. Confused, we're lost. So this is where we come to the Dharma, is in that place of darkness that we're afraid. Suffering, attachment, all of these things. But then when we get that initial spark, when we are inspired towards enlightenment, when our bodhicitta is nurtured, all of a sudden there's a little spark that helps to light our candle. And that's our moment, right? That's the first moment of enlightenment that we experience. Because if we try to separate enlightenment into a special thing that's not every day, then all of a sudden it can only be achieved under certain circumstances at certain times with certain people. But the truth is the inspiration to live your life for other beings and to deal with reality as it is, that's that initial enlightenment. That is as profound as any other thing that you're going to get in this practice because your candle was lit. Now, the fuel that powers that candle, that allows it to have that fire, is inherent in that candle, right? It's paraffin, it's wax, it's all of these flammable substances, it's the wick. Right? That's our life. Right? It's our everyday life that provides the fuel for our enlightenment. It's not from somewhere else. We don't have to wash ourselves clean to experience it. It's always there. And once the candle's lit, it just keeps burning. And try as you might, once you've been introduced to this practice, blow as hard as you want. You can't blow your candle out because you always end up coming back to it and it keeps coming back on fire. I should know. I ran away for 4 years because Buddhism's hard. You know, it's not easy to take responsibility for yourself in situations and not put it off onto others. To be mindful constantly. It's not easy. So the process of living our lives is what provides the fuel for our enlightenment. It allows us to reach these seminal moments in our life and say, that's not working for me. Or that's working pretty good. So we can't push away the darkness from fear. We have to just trust. And we trust in our practice, our enlightenment, to allow us to see in the dark. trust that even if we can only see so far because of the distance of our light, that's okay. We'll just look a shorter distance ahead instead of so far away. The other side is that we have to realize that our light can't shine without darkness, without shadow. They're inexorably linked. So for us to reach our highest potential, we also have to realize that we have a darker potential as well, and not to try to push that away. That's the equivalent of trying to cut our shadow off. It just doesn't happen. Maybe for Peter Pan, but not for us. And that is also symbolic of our lotus nature, that we are this beautiful and pristine flower that can only reach its highest potential, rooted in the muck and mire. Water too clean harbors no life. So again, we have to remind ourselves that all of these defilements that we have, all of these attachments are the fuel that help keep that fire lit, are lessons and opportunities that allow us to continue our growth. We cannot push them away. And that has become especially important to me now. My teacher told me something the other day that really impacted me. He said, we are lay ministers. We are lay priests. We're not monastics. We have to do the same work as a monastic, but we have to do it in everyday life and with trials and tribulations, wives and children and friends and jobs and all these things pulling at us at all times. But still we have to focus on what's important, the Dharma. We don't get the benefit of sitting in a monastery. Because ours is not a Buddhism of reaping. Ours is a Buddhism of sowing. That the first paramita of gratitude, fuse, isn't just giving money to the temple, to the Buddha, or making offerings, but it's giving the Dharma, it's sharing it with people. And in whatever capacity is necessary, whatever expedient is necessary in that moment to help them alleviate suffering and reach their highest potential. With only one thing in mind, as all Buddhas have, how can I cause all sentient beings to enter into the unsurpassed way quickly? And it starts the instant their candles lit. It starts. It's always there. They just didn't know it. So share the practice. Maybe not this practice. Maybe it's another form of practice. Maybe it's putting a hand on their shoulder, giving an ear, being of service to someone. But they're all expedient means to teach the same Dharma. And it's our responsibility to share it. As we talked about on Bodhi Day, the thing that made the Buddha unique was not that he attained enlightenment. Plenty of opportunities to see that in all sorts of aspects of society. We have Pratyeka Buddhas, private Buddhas, and Shravakas, learned Buddhas and such. But the truth is that when he became the Tathagata was when he got up and preached, when he taught somebody about it, when he shared the Dharma. Otherwise, he could have just kept it to himself. And that's the unique part of the myth of the enlightenment of the Buddha, is that the final temptation of Mara was to tell Buddha, you've got it, buddy. Nobody's going to get it, though. They're stupid. And God comes down from and says, please, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with everybody. Gods, spirits, people, everybody needs this teaching. So today, let us do Shodaigyo. This will be our final service, regular service of the year. We will have our New Year's Eve service. And really just enjoy both the darkness and the light today. And chant for all those who have no one, who have never come into contact with the Dharma. Chant that they come into contact with the Dharma in whatever capacity it is. Whatever capacity it is. So thank you all very much for coming on December the 24th, the day before Christmas and practice. Paishin will direct, actually, Zenshin, if you will direct for the incense. Kishin, will you do the drumming for should I go? Hands in Gasho. Rai, hi. Dojo Khan, perceiving the dojo. Know this place in which we find ourselves now is a dojo, a place of Buddhist training. All Buddhists come to this place and attain perfect enlightenment. All Buddhists come to this place and turn the wheel of the Dharma. All Buddhists come to this place and enter into Nirvana. Onmon Sanki, the three treasures. It is difficult to be born as a human being. I have now realized such a birth. To hear the teaching of the Buddha is difficult. I have now been able to hear it. I take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. Namu Myo Renge Kyo. Please place your hands in Hokai Jolene, Cosmic Ground Mudra. Lift nice and straight. Place your tongue in the roof of your mouth, just behind your top teeth. Breathe in through your nose, breathing with your diaphragm. Yin Shingyo. Silent meditation to center and calm the mind and body so that we may chant the Odai Mo. And as we began with silent meditation, this time, Jin Shin Yo, silent meditation to feel the sublime Dharma of the old Daimoku, preciousness. Today we remember those in sickness and distress as well as those in the mourning. We remember all the victims of terrorism throughout the world, all the victims of fires, winds, floods, and other natural disasters throughout the world. Hardaway and James Conn, Martin Hardaway, Louis Dingler, people of Puerto Rico, Stacey Perdue, Lindsay, Ika Cohen, Dan Monheim, Maureen Crane, Christy, what's the other? Christy Kazmarski, Kim Williams, Janet Williams, Richard Weinman, Isako Brainerd, Melissa Bowman, Michael Dean Ritchie, Mandy Figueroa, and Chavi, Aunt Bonnie Hours and Marguerite Hours, Gail Bull, Jay, Anna King, and Ann McAndrew, Maureen, Joshin Cushman, Brutus Todd, Marissa and Renee Hardaway, Melissa and Madeline Schoaf, Dennis Sullivan, George Sullivan, Ashley and Sean Waldron, Monica Shin, Megan Shin, Clarence Shin, Nadine Morsch, David Normandin, Dirk Patton, Damian Reddick, Wendy Prevost, Jason Wellman, David and Yasko Spence, Michael Mahar, Richard and Lynn Bigelow, and George Sullivan. Remember those who have passed. We remember Amy and Maria Valentin, C.P. and Augustus Kroll, Albert Rebus and Yolandis Rebus, Elaine and Joe Winter, Terry Paquin, Bill Mears Sensei, Harp Sensei, Jack Parker, Kazuko Jordan, Errol Scott, Cheryl Cushman, Aunt Barbara, Wayne, Ronnie Yogetsu Sullivan, Dennis Sullivan. Members of the Schoaf family, members of the Thibault family, members of the Wisnowski family, members of the Newski family, Michael Mathey, Linda Williams, Charles Bull, Helen Lawson, Dr. Peter Bowen, Maria Arajo, Donald Gregory, Tico and Josephine Abad, Tico, Josephine and Fructuso Abad, Shay, Roca, Ali, Usul, Scoop, Minchi, Stella, Hitchcock, Rex, Eve, and Star, Janice Boudreau, Zen Master Ryokan Daikyu, the Morrissey family, the Bigelow family, the Sparks and Winter family, the Kroll family, the Crane family, the Siebert and Kobayashi family, the Jordan family, mother of Juanita Young, Jean Knopf, Deidre Hussick, Nicole O'Brien. We respect you deeply. You will all be able to practice the way of bodhisattvas and become Buddhas. May the merits we have accumulated by this offering be distributed among all living beings, and may we and all other living beings attain the enlightenment of the Buddha. Farewell, Luso. Shoeizan Show. Venerable ones, remember us. Be where you like to come again. Thank you all very much. Sharing virtual today. Thank you all at home for tuning in. Well, we will get the chairs and then take our picture for the day and then set up for lunch. It is very quiet today.